Hey guys, what's up? Darcy here at 6 Strings 9 Lives. Time to update the U.D.O ranking. The previous version of this it's getting outdated. It's missing two albums, 2021's Game Over and 2023's Touchdown, which is a little over 5 months old. So, right in that pocket of, comfortability with me. I'm pretty confident where I would put that album, hearing it several times now. So yeah, a band that I've been following, proudly been following since day one. If you've watched this channel, you know I'm a huge Accept fan, U.D.O Dirk Snyder fan, and obviously U.D.O. Or, if you're just into traditional metal in general, this could be right up your alley. Bands like, obviously, Accept, as I said, Primal Fear, Herman Frank, ex-Accept member too. Just that good old traditional metal, with a little sprinkle of cheese in there, which, who gives a shit as long as we enjoy it, right? So yeah, there's 18 studio albums to go through now. This is, like I said, a day one band for me. Right after U.D.O Dirk Snyder was either let go from Accept or quit, whatever the story is, in 1986, formed U.D.O in 1987, and we'll get to, we're going to go through all these albums as per my rankings. What I like to do is obviously, show you, worst to first, whatever you want. In this case, there's really no shit albums. I'll be honest with you. I love this band. I would say also, if you were, maybe dismiss them or you don't know the full discography and you want to explore some, I would say my top 6 are kind of the real go-tos that I would recommend that you check out if you wanted to get into this band, and then, trickle your way down after that. 7 through 18, nothing wrong with those albums. They're just, how I prefer them, whatever you like to say. But yeah, so hopefully that would be helpful if you're newer to, U.D.O. Obviously, if you know Accept, you probably do know that these guys exist. I got a couple other little things to throw in there, as the story goes on. But I will also tell you of maybe some key lineup changes, key members. Been a lot of lineup changes, but overall, very consistent, just very consistent metal. But, these are, the pump your fist type of metal that I enjoy. So, all right, let's get started. We got 18 albums to go through. So coming in at number 18, and again, not a shit album, but I base a lot of this on strong tracks, and this is number 18. This is their, what is this? Their 16th overall studio album from, what year was this one? 2018, called Steel Factory. Now this one has some real hints of Accept, kind of signature guitar riffs, things like that. And what happened just prior to this, they went out on tour under the Dirk Snyder banner. And by the way, this is a fantastic live album. This is called Back to the Roots, where they only did Accept songs start to finish. So what happened here is some of this rubbed off onto this album. This one also is the last to feature long-term bassist Fiddy Weinhold. He's been in the band for 12 albums overall. But here's the back cover. So this one includes some bonus tracks too. I'll just name a couple of my favorite tracks that I would suggest you check out. Or actually, well, let's go with track 2, Make the Move. Now that one is very kind of Metal Heart inspired. And then you got a couple of really fast ones like, where's that one? Rising High. That would be like kind of in the not quite Fast as a Shark vein, but, very speedy, kind of Accept influenced. And sometimes you can't help to compare some of this to Accept, because obviously a voice like U.D.O Dirk Snyder has is one of a kind in my books. But there's number 18, Steel Factory. That one is from, what did we say, 2018. Coming in at number 17, their album from 2021. 17th overall studio album from 2021. Here is Game Over. So this is the second time second version of this logo. The first one to appear when they changed the logo. If you're a fan and care about logos, I'm kind of a logo guy, if you don't know. But when they did that album with the orchestra and stuff, that's the first time they kind of changed up their logo. Other than that, of these 18 studio albums, only 15 are the same and 3 are kind of tour like this and the original logo, which we'll show you down the line here. But Game Over, kind of a corny cover, but overall, not one that I go back to as often. One thing this is a super long album. There's actually 16 tracks. You know, they almost could have made 2 albums out of this. This is the one and only studio album to feature this lineup with bassist Tillin Hudrap. So you have U.D.O, Sun Swin, new guitar player D. Dammers, and Andrei Smirnov, who's been in the band for quite a while. Some tracks to check out that I do enjoy, and one is a song called Metal Never Dies. Yes, you got the cheese factor. Don't care, love it. And Prophecy, that is actually really kind of real Accept feel in that one. Check out the Prophecy, that is a great track. And Fear Detector, the lead-off track, really good too. But there's number 17, Game Over. Coming in at number 16, 10th overall studio album, 2005's Mission Number 10. I'll pull this out. Bit of a glare, so we'll get these covers out. What can I tell you about this one? 10th studio album, thus the X, Mission Number 10. Still, what would this be? Probably their second on AFM Records at this point. Tracks to check out. Check out, I think the lead-off single was 24/7. That's a really good song. Mean Streets. And where is it? Kind of one of my deeper tracks that I really enjoy in this one is a song called Cry Soldier Cry. So there's number 16, Mission Number 10, 2005. Coming in at number 15 is their 15th overall studio album from 2015. So we got a lot of 15s there. This is Decadent. Always reminds me of that, what is that, Warrant, Dirty, Rotten, Filthy Rich, or whatever, Stinkin' Rich, that, anyways. But this is the only album to feature this lineup. This is their 5-piece, which they mostly are throughout, but they had a second guitar player come in. His name is Kasperi Heikkinen. He only stayed for one album. He actually came in the band probably, I would say, was he on? Yeah, I think he played with in Dirk Schneider also too, but here's the lineup of this band. Other than that, still have Fiddy and drummer. Actually, the drummer on this, and I'll add in there that U.D.O has had some fantastic drummers, which, you know, I'll mention the names now because I don't know if I remember all, but Stefan Schwartzman, you probably know him from, he was even in Halloween, not on a studio album. He was in Running Wild, Accept, a version of Accept, the reunion. Great drummer, Francesco Givino, who is also in Primal Fear, who is on this album also. Lorenzo Milani, really good drummer too on a couple albums. But anyways, Decadent coming in at number 15. This one, it's a bit of a weird one. This one came after an album called Steel Hammer. And it's I don't know, if you know the band, you know what I'm saying. A little bit of experimental stuff on here, but a couple of my favorite tracks, I would go for sure my favorite track is Untouchable. Great track. And where is it? There it is, Under Your Skin. Check out those two tracks, but if you only check out one from this album, Untouchable. That one's kind of got that, you know, kind of balls to the wall type of riff. A lot of great riffs, and you know, and very riff based too. But there's Decadent from 2015. Coming in at number 14, their 14th overall studio album from 2013. The one I just mentioned before, this is Steel Hammer. Cool cover, love this. Cheese or not, whatever you think, but that's pretty cool with the colors and everything. Just metal. But this one is the first to feature Andrei Smirnoff on guitar. They're only actually, I think Kasperi Heikkinen joined the band just after the recording of this album. It was only featured on the album I just showed you, Decadent. But here is Steel Hammer. Coming in at number 14, some tracks to check out on here. Actually, there is a track on here called Basta Ya. It's in Spanish. They redid it on the Legacy, kind of the AFM years. Well, actually, no, it's kind of, the Legacy is kind of start to finish. Just doesn't include Touchdown of really good songs, but they redid that song on Legacy and it's called Dust and Rust, but the original version that they put on a studio album is called Basta Ya. It is fantastic. I really like songs that are sung in different languages. Super, just full of melody, that track. Other tracks to check out that I really enjoy. This is quite a heavy album with, a few lighter songs, but Take My Medicine. There's a bonus track on here called Never Cross My Way, which probably should have been on the regular album. But what you'll find too is some of these, they're a little long. Once you get to that hour mark or over the hour mark, you don't lose me, but the effectiveness is, I love a 45-minute album. You probably heard me say that before too. But anyways, number 14, Steel Hammer. Coming in at number 13, their first on AFM Records, 9th studio album, 2004, called Thunderbolt. Don't mind this cover. Always love this logo too. But I'll just throw it in there too. AFM Records now has the rights to the first 17 studio albums. They have some reissues, which I picked up on vinyl, which I'll show you in this video. And then I'm going to mention a few that I would love to see them put out again. If you know AFM Records, their stuff disappears probably within the 2-year mark, even 1 year sometimes, gone. But anyways, there it is, number 13, Thunderbolt. This one is, what was I going to tell you? I'm going to mention a couple of tracks. The title track, fantastic, Thunderbolt. And it falls off a little bit. There's a couple kind of like a Train Ride in Russia, not the greatest track. Another couple to check out would be Pull the Trigger and where is it? There it is, the Fistful of Anger. But yeah, if you only check out one track from Thunderbolt, go for the title track right there, 2004. So that's number 13. Coming in at number 12, third overall studio album from 1990 called Faceless World. And this is one of those ones I'm hoping. This is part of the first 4 U.D.O albums that desperately need a vinyl reissue. They are very hard to track down. If you do have originals, I would say you're very lucky. But yeah, third overall studio album. Now this would be, yes, Matthias Deeth is still in the band at this point. Actually, I'm going to throw this one in here as we go. If you're a fan, you might have heard this. This is Dirk Snyder and the Old Gang. So they got together a couple of years ago, and I mean there's Stefan Kaufman, Peter Baltes, who is now a full-time member of U.D.O, and U.D.O himself, Matthias Deeth, who's was on the first 4 U.D.O albums, a female singer, Manuela Biebert, she's fantastic, and then Swen on drums. They did a 3-song EP. Now, Face of a Stranger, if you haven't heard that track, it's awesome. So yeah, you had really 3/4 of the classic Accept lineup all on that EP. But anyways, little sidetrack, but Matthias Deeth, he's on this album still. Here is the lineup. You still got a young U.D.O. Dirk Snyder, who, geez, I think him and Biff Byford are the same age, or either U.D.O. is 72 and Biff just turned 73. So just still pumping out the great metal. So a couple tracks to check out on this one. This one, and I will say this is a little bit, it's a little bit less heavy than the first two. So they tried a couple things on here, and it actually really good. But Heart of Gold, Blitz of Lightning, the title track, Faceless World, and I would say that actually the last track, Futureland, are really good. And if I haven't mentioned it already, you will see the name. Not only was Stefan Kaufman, who is the, classic lineup drummer of Accept, he was a longtime guitar player. He was on 9 out of these 18 studio albums, but production, mixing, mastering, he's done it all. He's still a very close friend of U.D.O. Dirk Snyder, and worked even right on their last album, Touchdown. So there we go, number 12, Faceless World. So not only is this a ranking, I do try to throw a little bit extra in there, so hope you don't mind. Coming in at number 11, and just speaking of Touchdown, this is where I'm putting their latest studio album from 2023. And first to feature long-term classic member of Accept, Peter Baltes on bass. Tillin Hudrap, the previous bass player, fell ill at some point and then decided to leave. And you know what? U.D.O. called up his old friend and said, are you in? And he said yes, and I couldn't be happier. Besides the bass playing on here, Peter doesn't have any real big writing credits or anything. There's that little bit of a football theme. I get it. People don't quite understand this cover, but I think it's pretty cool. It's I love the kind of just the black, the blue. It's very whatever. I enjoy it. But yeah, so Peter, hopefully on the next studio album, which the way these guys pump out albums should be next year, 2025. Hopefully some extra writing from Peter. But what Peter also brings, and you would know from your days or your time with listening to Accept, is really great backing vocals, and he's a good singer himself. He actually sings quite a bit on this EP. And if you know the first 1, 2, 3 Accept albums, he probably does a total of at least 6 songs, I would say. And yeah, and there's some of the better tracks too. So good to have Peter's backing vocals along with his awesome bass playing. All right, tracks to check out here. We got one, the COVID related Isolation Man, not bad lead-off track. But my favorites on this, Fight for the Right. There's a song called Punchline, which I've mentioned this in other videos. If you read along with those lyrics, and it's pretty much a shot at Wolf Hoffman. Not the easiest guy to work with, it seems. And obviously, you had Peter leave Accept probably about 4 years ago now. And a little bit of bad blood. Too bad they all can't get along. But other tracks, Betrayer, quite heavy. One of my very favorite tracks on this album is a song called Better Start to Run. I encourage you to check that one out. And the title track wraps up this album, which is called Touchdown, obviously. That is straight out of Fast as the Shark book, and it is a very speedy track. Yes, the lyrics, corny as hell, but like I said it over, who gives a shit? It's very awesome. But here it is, number 11, 18th overall studio album. All right, coming in at number 10, and this is one of those awesome reissues from the tail end of 2023 from AFM Records. 8th overall studio album, and it is called Man and Machine. This is from 2002. So this is the first album in 3 years to follow the album Holy. In that time period, U.D.O had a bit of a health scare, had a heart attack. I don't know what level or anything like that, but he was back at her in a short period of time. And I think 3 years is the maximum these guys have ever missed. It's mostly, actually, they've had back-to-back years. They've had mostly the 2-year gap. But anyways, here is Man and Machine. This one does feature a duet with Doro Pesh called Dancing with an Angel. But I would say a couple of my favorite tracks, The Dawn of the Gods, check that one out, and Like a Lion, and where is it? Black Heart. But overall favorite track, The Dawn of the Gods, and that duet with Doro is pretty good. If you're watching this, you know who Doro is too, I'm sure. But there's number 10, 8th overall studio album, 2002. All right, coming into the top, well, we already started the top 10. Here's number 9, 12th overall studio album from 2009 called Dominator. I am going to slip that out. This one, tough to find on vinyl. I hope they do. I can't see it getting reissued this year, but hopefully down the line. This is, what would this be? The second last to feature Stefan Kaufmann on guitar still. But yeah, this one has this is a great first half album for me. Tracks to check out. Yeah, the leadoff track is called The Boogeyman. We talked a little bit about the cheese, but man, what a great track. Title track, awesome, Dominator. Black and White. But my favorite track on this album is a song called Infected. It is super heavy. It just hammers along right in that, fast as a shark vein too. But yeah, there's number 9, Dominator. Coming in at number 8. And this one is the last to feature, actually the guitar, I should have mentioned too, the guitar duo of Stefan Kaufmann and Igor Gianola. They were together for 7 albums. So this is the last to feature both of them. And then the album that came after this was Steel Hammer, which features new guitar player and still current member Andrei Smirnoff. But here's Rev Raptor coming in at number 8. This is their 13th overall studio album from 2011. Key tracks to check out. And I'm very fortunate to grab this one. Actually, I spotted this one on Amazon a few years back for $20 Canadian. I'm not shitting you. That's basically like giving it away. But yeah, the leadoff track, or the title track, Rev Raptor, Leatherhead. Check that one out. And there's one that is a little more melodic, not as heavy. I Give As Good As I Get. There's actually a video for that one. Really good. And then kind of one of those, kind of raw metal songs, Rock and Roll Soldiers. There's a lot of those type of songs in these albums, but check that one out too. Number 8, Rev Raptor. All right, coming in at, was that number 8? Yes, number 7, 2nd overall studio album from 1989, Mean Machine. So this is on my definite vinyl reissue wish list. These other ones, they did 4, so I'm hoping they do the 4 at a time and go with the first 4. That would be very cool. So was there any lineup changes on this one? No, pretty much the same band as on the debut. So Mean Machine, 1989. Check out the tracks. Don't Look Back, Break the Rules, really, really good song. And overall, this has a, kind of just a basic continuation of the debut. Also, We're History, that's a good song. But one more of my favorites, is called Streets on Fire. Check that one out. Mean Machine coming in at number 7. Number 6. This is another one of those killer recent reissues. Number 6, 7th overall studio album from 1999 called Holy. The title track is fantastic. This is actually the first to feature, where is he? There's Igor Gianola, Stefan on guitars. Also, At this point, it actually under the drummer category, it says Guess Who. So we can only guess, and I'm pretty confident that Stefan ended up doing the drums and the guitar playing and most of the writing on this album. But other tracks to check out on this one would be Raiders of Beyond, Shout It Out, and one of my favorites is called Ride the Storm. But yeah, here is Holy from 1999, coming in at number 6. Coming in at number 5, I could say maybe in the scheme of things, but it's already 2024, and this is from what I was gonna say is this is one of the newer albums, but not really. But coming in at number 5, Masticator from 2007. This character on here was on a couple, Dominator, Rev Raptor, and Masticator. They never really went with a full-on mascot or anything like that, but yes, 11th overall studio album, AFM Records. And tracks to check out. This is a very solid album. The one track I would highly recommend you check out is called Wrong Side of Midnight. Where else? What else do we have here? Actually, the title track's really good too. One Lone Voice, kind of a slower, there's some heavier ballads within this whole U.D.O discography, but for sure, The Wrong Side of Midnight. This one is just a very consistent album. Another track to check out would be Vendetta or Tears of a Clown. It doesn't really, there's not a lot of weak tracks on here. Maybe the last track, Crash Bang Crash, but other than that, really solid album. From 2007, Masticator. All right, where are we at? We're at number 4 already. So these top 4, I said earlier in the video these top 6, but here is number 4, 6th overall studio album from 1998 called No Limits. This is one of 2 to feature second guitar player Jürgen Graf. Fantastic player. And this one and the next one I'll show you are just neck and neck, back to back. Actually, they came out back to back years too, but here is the very cool gatefold. There is a shot of the band right there. Yeah, this one really starts off with a bang with kind of an intro called The Gate, right into the track Freelance Man. Ones I would say you got to check out for sure is Way of Life, One Step to Fate. There is actually an Accept cover on here of I'm a Rebel, which they do a killer job. So if you're a fan of that early Accept stuff, yeah, actually a couple covers on here. There's one also called Love Machine. But yeah, overall, love this album. Was very happy to see it come out on vinyl. There it is, number 4. Number 3. So that one was from 98. This one's from 97. So 1997, this is basically the return of U.D.O getting back after a reunion. Udo Dirkschneider went back with Accept. They had a reunion that started basically 1993, was it? 93 till about 96. They did 3 albums. Objection Overruled. They did Death Row and Predator. And then U.D.O resumes with this awesome album. And this is where Stefan Kaufmann joined U.D.O as a full-time guitar player. Amongst his other duties of, mixing, producing, mastering, helping record everything. And this is the first to feature Fitty Weinhold on bass, who, like I said, was in the band for 12 albums. But as the title says, solid. This is a solid effort. I highly recommend this one if you are newer to the band or you never heard it. This is one of those, every track is great in my opinion. Independence Day leads off. Check that one out. The Punisher, super heavy track. And I would say maybe Pray for the Hunted. I'm just searching here because it's all good. Trust me on this one. Solid. Coming in at number 3. Coming in at number 2. And these last 2, yes, these are part of that vinyl wish list. But this one, number 2, 4th studio album from 1991. And after that, then that Accept reunion happened. If you're keeping track of the timeline, this is called Time Bomb. I will pull that one out. There is the cover. Love this cover. Love this album. Only a 4-piece at this point. Just Matthias Deeth is on guitars, but this is probably one of the heaviest out of these 18 albums for sure. Yeah, it is the heaviest album. Fastest. Check out the title track. Time Bomb for sure. Metal Eater. Thunder Force, a really good song. Really great backing vocals on here too. And one of my personal favorites is a song called Power Squad. Punch up that one. U.D.O. Power Squad. See what you think. There's number 2. Only leaving number 1. And this has never wavered for me. This has always been number 1. For all intents and purposes, it's pretty much an Accept album. It was written and shelved and actually handed as kind of a parting gift to U.D.O. when he left the band. We'll call it a parting gift, but there it is. Number 1 is U.D.O. Animal House. And there's that. They only use this logo once, but this is just awesome album. So this came out in 87. So really it's kind of basically the follow-up to Accept, Russian Roulette. But those of you that have kept track of the band know that they went a different route with, hiring David Reese on vocals for Eat the Heat. And U.D.O. went his separate way. And you know what? We got 2 great bands out of it. So good deal. Yeah, 1987. The title track is awesome. Love Animal House. Go Back to Hell. They Want War. The list goes on here. There's actually one track on here which features Peter, Wolf, and Stefan called Lay Down the Law. You pretty much swear it's an Accept song. There is great backing vocals, just like Accept has great backing vocals, especially in the early days. But there's number 1, and there is the full 18 studio albums from U.D.O. Like I said earlier, if you're a fan of Accept and Primal Fear, Herman Frank, stuff like that, go and check this band out. It's a lot to absorb, so take it one at a time, whatever. But I hope you enjoyed that one. Until next time, stay heavy.